Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good morning. Apologies. The FAA has announced that it has grounded all flights over the U.S. Now, this is flights taking off. Flights in the air are not required to land. We're going to discuss that in just a moment. But it's and no flights can take off over the United States at the moment. Let's see, and we're still trying to figure out. It's actually been for the last, what we can tell, for the last about 4 hours, there have been a lot of difficulties from the FAA. Flights have been delayed, flights have been canceled, and nobody's been entirely sure what's going on. What we know at this point is that the problem is with what is called FlightAware, which tracks delays in, FlightAware, that's a different system, sorry. It's, let's see, the Notice to Air Missions. Now, the Notice to Air Missions sends alerts to pilots to let them know of conditions that could affect the safety of their flights. It is different from the air traffic control system, so it doesn't control how close planes get to each other or coordinate how and when they take off. It's just for notifying them of any conditions that may affect the integrity of the plane during the flight. Now, this system is used only at takeoff. As they're taking off, all that information is uploaded to the plane. For some reason, that system is down nationwide. Nobody knows why. Biden has come out and said that he expects that we're going to get an answer as to why within a few hours, but right now there is no notice, there's no indication as to how or why this happened. People have asked whether or not this is a cyber attack. Right now there is no no indication whatsoever of foul play. This kind of thing does happen intermittently. Now, keep in mind, again, this is with the information that is uploaded to the plane as it is taking off to notify it of conditions which may affect the safety of that plane. Because of that, that means planes cannot take off in the U.S. right now. They are all grounded. Planes in the air, their safety is unaffected. They can land at their destination. We don't anticipate any problems there. International flights are fine. This does leave a problem for especially international flights on their way to the U.S. Do they want to land on the U.S. knowing they can't take off for an unknown period of time? There's usually a considerable amount of turnaround time on an airplane. Well, actually that's not true. It depends on, but right now, at least 1,000 flights have been canceled, 6,000 flights delayed. And at this point, we do not know how or when flights will be allowed to take off within the U.S. again. Again, it is one system that's down. It's not air traffic control. It's the Notice to Air Missions system. It sends alerts to pilots to let them know what conditions may affect the safety of the plane. That system is used in principally when taking off. Without it, planes can't take off. So there are no planes taking off in the United States as of this moment. The FAA has grounded them all. Planes in the air are unaffected and should be able to continue on to their destinations safely. I'll check in the live chat in just a minute. But that's really all we know. This is obviously going to cause a pretty big backlog of planes to get through it. We also, of course, had a whole bunch canceled for that. What was it? The weather bomb that struck and froze. What is it? A third to a quarter of, or a quarter to a third of the continental United States. It's the second major system to have failed in the FAA. Recently now, Biden has been trying to appoint a permanent head to the FAA, but his appointee has been having difficulties. And, there's argument over just how important it is to have a permanent head of the FAA or any appointee from a president. And in my experience and in my view, it's actually extraordinarily important. The whoever is second in command, who is ostensibly running things, never knows if or when somebody else is going to come in. To the best of my knowledge, they actually don't have complete authority that a permanent head to an organization like the FAA would have. It's one of those things. It needs a permanent head that needs to pass through congressional approval as soon as possible. Obviously, we've had shenanigans over that kind of thing for decades. It's been getting worse and worse. No flights so far have been canceled from Paris Charles de Gaulle's airport, but delays are expected. And again, they've got problems, which is if they land in the United States, they won't be able to take off. And to the best of my knowledge, nobody's rerouted. This is expected to be, they're rebooting their systems right now. And we've been told that they're cautiously optimistic that the reboot will work once it's back up, or once it's rebooted. They expect the entire system to go back up and then to start clearing the backlog. Again, this started with just some confusion as planes were being moved around, and people were being told that there were delays, but everything was fine, and planes may have taken off without the system. I don't know. My assumption is that they didn't, but they nobody could tell if it was just a problem with a few individual planes or with the entire system. As of this point, they know it's the entire system, and the FAA has grounded all flights taking off in the United States. Once again, very important to be aware, the integrity of flights currently in the air is unaffected. Any plane currently in the air is safe. Everything's fine. They should be able to land at their destination. No problem. Again, my assumption is international flights are still going to choose to land in the U.S., but they will now be grounded once they get here until this problem is fixed. They're cautiously optimistic that the reboot that they're in the process of doing now will get the systems back up, but there has literally been no ETA set. It could be up in 5 minutes. It could be up in 5 hours. Nobody knows. They don't even know what caused the failure. So, again, President Biden has said that he expects answers on what caused the failure within 5 hours. The London Heathrow Airport has said that they are not aware of any canceled flights to the U.S. and are continuing their normal flights to the United States. And let's see. I mean, it looks like if it's an emergency, some planes should be able to fly. The system is not the sole source of information. It's considered a critical safety a component of airplane safety, but they can take off without it. So I assume that emergency flights may still be continuing in one way or another. But the notice to air missions system has failed, and at this point, we don't know. Let's see. Now there is hold on. Now there's one indication that they may. I don't know. I've seen one report that they may have lifted it, but that report vanished. So, it may be that as of this moment, the flights may be back up. Okay. Yep. Okay. So it looks like flights are back up. So we're actually behind the ball on that one. So apologies. So we still don't know what caused it, but it does look like flights are back up. And yeah, I don't know about anything else, but at this point, it looks like flights are back up. So hopefully we'll have some answers as to the cause. At some point, I am going to check the live chat really quickly. Yeah, of course, that's good. Yep, yep, it's back up. So it looks like they're clearing the backlog, and flights are. Yep. All right. All right. So yeah, to the best of our understanding at this point, flights have resumed. So still no word yet as to what caused it. Again, at no point were flights that were in the air in any danger. It was a problem with the system that is used during takeoff, and so all flights, all outgoing flights were canceled until the problem was fixed. The problem appears to have been fixed, so I think that about covers it. So thank you all for joining us. Well, that's an interesting way to wake up in the morning. We are aware that Russia has started a massive bombardment of Soledar. It's actually been attacking Soledar for a while, but it looks like they are encircling it. They claim to have captured it. The Ukrainians say that it is not captured. At this point, we believe it is not captured, in part because the Russians say it is. But we're keeping an eye on that, and there's a couple of pieces of information coming in here. So we're going to be discussing that and a few other things with Starsky on Friday. That's Operator Starsky, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. He is a Ukrainian National Guardsman, and we're going to discuss what's going on in Ukraine with him. We look forward to that, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you all for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Good day.